Have you ever been sitting in a room full of people, laughing along with everyone else, but part of your mind was somewhere else entirely, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago, or quietly analyzing something no one else even noticed? If that sounds familiar, there's actually a name for it in psychology. You may be what's known as a deep thinker, someone whose mind processes information at a deeper level than most people around them. There are 7 signs that point to this. Most people will recognize maybe 2 or 3 of them in themselves, but sign number 6 is the one almost nobody talks about. The first sign: you replay conversations long after they're over. Not just the big important ones, the small ones too. An offhand comment, a pause that felt half a second too long, a joke that maybe didn't land. Hours later, sometimes days, you're still turning it over, trying to figure out what it actually meant. Because for you, words aren't just words, they're clues. Tone, timing, word choice, all of it carries information, and your mind treats every piece of it as something worth examining. This isn't quite anxiety. It's your mind doing what it always does, looking for the meaning behind the meaning. The second sign: you notice things other people don't. A shift in someone's tone of voice before they even realize it themselves. A forced smile that doesn't reach the eyes. A half-second pause before someone says, "I'm fine," and you already know they're not. You're constantly processing 2 conversations at once. The one happening out loud, and the quieter one happening in body language, tone, and pace. When you mention what you noticed, people sometimes say you're reading too much into it, but most of the time you weren't wrong. You just noticed it before anyone else did, and had to sit with that information alone. The third sign: you feel things far more intensely than most people, and not just your own feelings. Someone else's bad mood can quietly become your bad mood, even if nothing was said. A sad moment in a film can stay with you for the rest of the day. You can walk into a room and feel the tension in the air before a single word is spoken. Deep thinkers don't just observe emotions from the outside. They absorb them. They become part of their own inner world, whether they want them to or not. On any given day, you might be carrying emotional weight that was never yours to begin with, and not even know where it came from. It just feels like it was always there. The fourth sign: when everyone else asks what happened, you ask why. Knowing what happened isn't enough. You need to understand why it happened, why someone reacted the way they did, why a certain pattern keeps repeating in your life or someone else's, why things work the way they do, even in moments when nobody else in the room is asking that question. It's part of why people come to you for advice. You're not just listening to the surface of a problem. You're looking for what's actually driving it. But it also means you rarely get to enjoy simple answers, because the moment someone gives you one, your mind is already asking the next why hiding behind it. The fifth sign: you need time alone, even from people you genuinely love. It's not that you don't enjoy their company. You do. But your mind never fully switches off, even in good moments. Part of you is still processing, still thinking, still running in the background. And after a while, that constant interactivity becomes too much. Not because something is wrong, not because you don't want to be there. Your mind just needs quiet to recover from being on for so long. So you step away, into another room, a walk, some silence. And if you don't get that space, you might notice yourself becoming irritable or foggy, without quite knowing why. This isn't antisocial behavior, it's recovery. Your brain works harder than most, even at rest, so it needs more time to truly recharge. The sixth sign, and this is the one almost nobody talks about: you carry a quiet sense of responsibility for things that were never actually yours to fix. Someone's shift in mood, a conflict you weren't even part of, a problem that, honestly, you have no power to solve. Here's why it happens. Because you notice so much, the why behind how people behave. The emotion sitting just under the surface, part of you starts to feel like you should do something about it. You saw it. You understood it. Doesn't that mean you should be able to fix it? But it's not always fixable. And when it isn't, but it's not just frustrating, it's exhausting. And it's hard to explain to people who didn't even notice the problem in the first place. This is the hidden cost of paying close attention to everything. At some point, seeing something makes you feel like you own it, even if it was never yours to carry. Sign number 7. Casual conversation creates an almost physical discomfort. The weather. Weekend plans. How are you? Good, you? None of it matches what's actually happening in your head at any given moment. While everyone else seems perfectly comfortable staying on the surface, you're aware of everything underneath it, and the gap between the two can feel enormous. It's not that you think you're above small talk. It's that your mind is built for depth, and staying on the surface for too long feels like holding your breath. Eventually, you just want to ask the real question, the one hiding underneath the small talk, even if nobody in the room is ready for it yet. If you recognized yourself in 3 or more of these, especially number 6, here's what matters. You're not overthinking. You're not making a big deal out of nothing. You're a deep thinker living in a world that mostly stays shallow. The most exhausting part was never the thinking itself. It's doing all of it quietly, so that nobody around you understands how much you're actually carrying. Noticing, absorbing, analyzing, feeling responsible for things you never agreed to hold. If this resonated with you, the next video goes deep into what to actually do with all of this depth, how to use it instead of being drained by it. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below and tell me which sign felt most like you. Like this video if it helped, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.